Hello there, thanks for coming by PosterCentral.com's video blog. I'm Pete Howard, and I guess I should have started the video by saying, hello, I'm Pete Howard, because that's the way Johnny Cash, of course, always started off his concerts, by announcing his name that way, and I should have worn black too, I suppose, but I just missed the boat. But that's okay, this is about the cardboard, not me. So I got 5 of them, 5 Johnny Cashes from the 1960s to show you today, and we start with this one. It might be my favorite of the 5, it's just got great graphics. 1961. Wichita, Kansas, and check this thing out from top to bottom. It's really, what a great striking picture of Johnny on there for one thing. But there's the Forum in Wichita and the Fabulous Johnny Cash Show. He had an album out called The Fabulous Johnny Cash not long before this. And there you got the support artist down on the bottom and everything. And it's kind of interesting to look at some of the print under Johnny's name there. It says, you know, The Rebel on Columbia Records, referring to the Rebel Johnny Yuma, a hit record, a country charter from that year. Even bigger for Johnny this year was Tennessee Flat Top Box, a song that would, of course, stay with him and his daughter Roseanne the rest of their careers. So that's pretty neat. It is kind of odd, though, that it says the Tennessee 2 on there. Or is it the other side? No, it was that side. It says the Tennessee 2 because, you know, the Tennessee 2 was the name of his support musicians throughout his Sun Records era in the 1950s. And then in late 1960, drummer W.S. Holland joined the lineup, and that's when they became the Tennessee 3. So here's a 61 poster. Why it still says Tennessee 2, I don't know, but it's possible that this was the January 61 concert. It was mapped out maybe 3 months earlier, and maybe Holland joined the entourage later in 60, I'm not sure. But anyway, it's kind of fun to see how there's little anomalies on the poster prints like this. This was also the year that Johnny did his first movie. He was also fancied himself an actor of some note, and that was 5 Minutes to Live. And I have to admit, he has kind of like good movie star looks there for sure. So 1961, I'm going to take the 5 posters in chronological order. So for the next one, notice how good looking this poster is. And by the way, I should point out along the top, it's pretty neat to look at the prices. They're just so reasonable for back then. You have both advance and at the door. And I like the way it says, child, 50 cents. Oh, that's pretty neat. So anyway, great looking poster to 1962. Not quite as good looking, I think everybody would agree. Graphically, it's a bit stifled. But the venue is super duper legendary, and that's Carnegie Hall. So this one has shrink wrap on it, by the way, so we'll get a little reflective of it, but sorry about that. But boy, Carnegie Hall, right? How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, practice. This is, for a country music star, this was a pretty nice feather to achieve, that's for sure. And I will mute my telephone so it doesn't interrupt any more video. So Carnegie Hall, and Johnny had a top 10 hit this year with In the Jailhouse Now. And he did his second movie role, Knight Rider, in 1962. He also released a gospel album this year. But you know something? We have that little problem again. Tennessee 2? Boy, drummer W.S. Holland is really being dissed now. It's been a long time. I just don't know why the graphics didn't reflect Tennessee 3 as being known. But one thing that's really cool about this poster on the upside is look at that support artist. Wow, George Jones. How outstanding is that? Good old No-Show Jones hopefully showed up for this show, and to see, you know, those two guys in that year together would really be special. But I love the wording on this. It says, you can see it right there across the top, an evening of folk, western, and bluegrass, starring America's foremost singer and storyteller, Johnny Cash. More than just a country artist. He was already, as I said, acting in movies and stuff, so quite a prodigious talent for sure. And so that's this one's been a bit restored and put under shrink wrap because it had some damage to it, but a really nice piece for sure. Then we jump ahead 3 years to 1965 and take a look at another really nice, graphically attractive poster, and that would be from Long Island, New York, and that's this 1965 concert poster. Pretty cool. Island Garden there. I really like the combinations of the reds and the blacks on this one, make it look really nice. Johnny Cash from 1965, and that was the year he had a really big hit with Orange Blossom Special, like top 5 country. And just lots of, you know, there's June Carter on there, obviously his future wife. And yes, we finally have the Tennessee 3, hooray! And the Statler Brothers, this was a couple of months before they broke through nationally and had a big pop hit with Flowers on the Wall, you know, Counting Flowers on the Wall. And the Chambers Brothers even, fresh from the Newport Folk Festival, and this was, what, 3 years before Time Has Come Today. So Chambers Brothers with an interesting format mix there. You wouldn't expect that rock band to have been folk and country a few years earlier, but there you have it. I just really like this. This is a typical Murray poster out of New York. It reflects many other posters of its ilk. And again, it's 1965. So for the last two, we're going to go to 1967 and 1968, and they're very similar. They're both sponsored by KRNT Radio, which is the big AM country station in Des Moines, Iowa. Boy, when I say similar, I mean similar, don't I? Look at that. But first, we'll take the 1967 one, and I'll show it to you from top to bottom. Nice graphics, Johnny standing there with his guitar. And red and black looks really good. There you have the support acts, June Carter, again soon to be his wife, along with the Tennessee Three, correctly, Mother Mabel and the Carter family, that's really nice. The Statler Brothers and Carl Perkins, Mr. Blue Suede Shoes. Really nice to see him on there. And in fact, there are photographs of Perkins along with June Carter on top. So that's pretty nice. In fact, 1967, this poster, April of 67, this is the year that Johnny and June won the Grammy for their duet on Jackson. So that's really puts it in nice perspective when you can do that. So love that guitar leaning up against his leg. That's really nice. Really nice, I should say. KRNT Theater, affiliated with the radio station, and in Des Moines, Iowa. 3 big shows. Look at that. 3 in one day. 1 o'clock, 4:45, and 8:30 p.m. So they really worked hard. So it looks almost the same, and it's the same month, but it's a year later. Move this one aside and put this one in. April 21st of 1968. And you can see it's very, very similar in the layout. I'll show you a couple of differences in just a minute. But 1968, this is the year, of course, that Johnny recorded and released Live at Folsom Prison. The album would come out the next month after this, in May of 1968, and it would deliver 2 #1 country hits for Johnny this year. That's Folsom Prison Blues, title track, I guess you could say, and Daddy Sang Bass. So the thing that I find really fun about this poster is that Johnny married June Carter 7 weeks before this show. So what was that, February of 68? So why does it still say June Carter? It should say June Carter Cash. Yeah, that's because these tour blanks were printed up in tonnage ahead of the fact. And by tour blank, of course, I mean everything above this black line is unique to just this concert and this venue, and other concert posters exist from other dates near this, from other venues and other cities and other theaters and everything else, of course. So, but hopefully that June Carter Cash appeared pretty soon. And on a sad note, we keep talking about Tennessee 2 and Tennessee 3 and so forth. This one's really sad. Here in 1968, one of the Tennessee Three, legendary guitarist Luther Perkins, died in an accident, most unfortunately. So this is like one of the last concert posters, I suppose, of Johnny Cash and the Tennessee Three, in which Luther Perkins did play on stage. So that makes it special, I guess you could say, indeed. And I just wanted to finish by showing you here with the 2 posters side by side a couple of differences, a couple of little differences. This one says Statler Brothers, just Statler Brothers there in red ink. And this one says The Statler Brothers. So I don't point this out so much like that's a big deal, but just to show that these are not identical tour blanks. In fact, you know what's kind of funny is that one of them has 2 stars by Johnny's shoulder, and the other one has 3 red stars by Johnny's shoulder. Why they made these subtle little differences, I don't know, but here we are with the 1968 one finally to close things out. And the thing that I like about it is that even with ticket prices going up all decade long, children were still just 50 cents, just like they were in 1961. Johnny liked to take care of the kids. And the parents, I should say. The parents is who he's taking care of. So that's Johnny Cash today. 5 of them for you from the 1960s. Love Johnny. Of course, he crosses all the musical formats, you know, besides country, but that's sort of the base for these posters. So hope you enjoyed it too. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.